In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 11 things nobody tells you about when living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm getting after it right now. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Greg Spackman. I'm with the Living in Salt Lake City channel. So if you want to learn everything about what it's like to live here, eat here, sleep here, and play here in the Salt Lake City area, then click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I do new videos. I've been getting a ton of people that are just like you that are reaching out to me about making that move here to the Salt Lake City area, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you, please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you more about making that move here to the Salt Lake City area. So, number one on the list that people never told us about when we actually moved here, we were seeing some of it online, but really we didn't get a good idea, is that the floor plans of most of the homes in Utah are just awful. They are terrible. The way that they design the homes, they have a lot of the homes have these really tiny, tiny kitchens. And we were used to having a big island in the kitchen and then it opens into the other room so that you could have your kitchen table off to the side of some fashion, and then have your main TV entertainment area all in the same room, so that when you have people over and you're gathering, you don't have this weird feel like someone's off in the dungeon cooking and or doing dishes. We really like having it all in the same area. It's super nice to entertain that way. We just had 4th of July and we had everyone over, and our current house here has that same setup. So when we were in the kitchen, everybody could hang out at the bar. We had four bar stools. It'd be cool if it was a little wider and had the fifth bar stool. But then we had a kitchen table off to the side, and 6 more people could sit there. And then we had a big sectional couch that sat everybody else. And we had the TV on where we were watching some music videos on YouTube. My wife just found out that there's this area on YouTube that you can go to, and it just plays music videos like you're watching MTV or VH1 in the past. So that was super cool to have on in the background while everyone else was just eating and having fun and playing a board game. We played a new board game that was fun. And so that was all great as far as that goes. One of my favorite builders here is Toll Brothers, and they seem to have the floor plan down right as far as the layout. Most of their layouts have that sort of feel, and other builders don't seem to get that concept. They put, there's a lot of homes here that you're going to find that are, say, 3,000 square feet, but then it's 1,000 in the basement, 1,000 on the main floor, 1,000 on the top floor. But 1,000 square feet on your main level is not a lot of square footage for a home. It almost feels like, what you used to have with an apartment, where 1,000 foot apartment, 1,000 square foot apartment. So that's kind of what that feels. And so when you add in the bathroom and your kitchen, your family room is not very large. So I feel like you need a little bit, they need to adjust that here, but they don't. That's how it's done in Utah. But that's one of the things that I can help you with, and that I dealt with moving here and have with other people that I've helped buy new construction or just existing homes, has helped them talk about the different floor plans and the layouts of what they want and how they want it to be. And everybody kind of has a different feel of how they want their main floor living to be. How much time do you spend on that level? And so that's number one. The number two reason is, what is it like to be a non-Mormon and live in the Salt Lake City area? Is it a problem? What do I notice? What have I seen in my 2 years of being here? Well, I can say that there are children that your kids won't be able to play with on Sundays because they are doing their own thing on Sunday. So you may find that, or that they have special family nights that they do their thing. And there's places that you want to shop at that are closed on Sundays. Like, when we first moved here, we needed to trade in one of our cars, and I wanted to get my Jeep. And we weren't able to go on Sunday to go car shopping because they are not open on Sunday. So know that you're not going to be able to purchase a car on Sunday. When we were go to the grocery store on Sunday, we thought it'd be great because half of the people wouldn't be there shopping. Well, we found out that a lot of the grocery stores will have less inventory on Sunday because of people shopping on Friday and Saturday. And I think it also has to do with maybe half of their staff not being there to restock shelves on Sunday. So just know that Sunday is neat in some shopping if what you're going to be shopping is open, But if they're not open, then you may find that it's not a big deal for you. But know that driving around, there's less traffic everywhere you go on Sunday. But that's, I think, everywhere pretty much. Sunday is a good day to travel. Like if you're going into Los Angeles, Sunday would be a much better day to go than, say, Friday. So that's kind of what it's like, I guess, for us. My kids haven't said anything about school or kids or anything as far as them going or having an issue, the kids at all. The number three thing on my list is the liquor laws here in Utah. And I've touched on this in some of my other videos, but they have like this 15-foot rule. You have a 0.05 for DUI. You're not going to be able to buy wine in the grocery store, that sort of thing. When we first moved here, what we found that was kind of odd with the liquor law was when we went to a Chili's, we ate in the bar area because the other area was going to take longer to eat at. And so we went into the bar, and they have the bars that's normal for you to with the bar stools, but no one's sitting there. There's no bartender making drinks. They made the drinks back around the corner, and they said that that was just due to the ruling of the amount of space that they have to be away from children. And so in lieu of them making it at the bar, they just did it around there. That way they could have families and everybody could eat in the bar. So that was kind of awkward. The next thing we ran into was this restaurant slash bar that we went to in South Jordan in Daybreak. And we thought we'd be able to eat there with the kids, and found out that you have to be 21 to eat there. So that meant we couldn't eat there with the kids, even though they had pretty good burgers and fries. I'm not able to take my kids there and eat because of the weird liquor law that was here. As far as anything else with the liquor law, just the fact that if I wanted to buy Jack Daniels, I have to go to a state run liquor store, or if I wanted to get a bottle of wine, you'd have to go to the state run liquor store. Those are closed on Sundays and holidays. So that's kind of different as far as what I'm used to. And I'm definitely not used to, having to be it be a problem where wherever you're gonna sit or how the restaurant is set up as far as their bar area goes. We used to just be able to, go into the restaurant and say we will just take first available, and they'd sometimes seat you in the bar area. So for us, it wasn't. It was kind of different that it's that way here in Utah. The number four thing on my list that no one's going to tell you about is the food here in Utah. There are a ton of chain restaurants. There's not as many mom and pop type restaurants. We haven't been able to find a Mexican food place that's really, really good here. Red Iguana is probably the best that we've eaten, and I don't consider that really, really good compared to what we had in Nashville. And then even in Southern California, had much better than Nashville, but you wouldn't think that Nashville would have better Mexican food, for example. Steak wise, haven't found a great steak place here yet. They have some of the chain restaurants, Ruth's Chris has a decent steak, but it's not great compared to where elsewhere we've eaten. If we want a really good steak, then we end up having to go to Las Vegas, which isn't a problem for me to go to Las Vegas since I love going there. And then you can definitely get, steak at the SW. If you haven't tried that, probably the best steak you're going to have anywhere in the world, at least as far as I know. But just know that there are a ton of chain restaurants, and that seems to be really, really big here in Utah, instead of the normal like mom and pop places that you're going to find elsewhere in the US. The number five thing on our list, and I knew that Utah was an outdoor area, but how outdoorsy Utah actually is. Everybody here seems to really like to hike and bike and be outdoors. They love to use all the lakes and streams here, from fishing to camping and boating, and just being outdoor. There's more people. It's not uncommon that if you're going to do a hike that you're going to see 20 or 30 people here. We just did a hike to a waterfall that was pretty awesome, and it was, I think, a mile there and back, but we ran across probably 30, 40 people on that hike. Not that it was a ton of people, just going there and back, there was that many people. And I'm sure that some of the more popular hikes have even more. And then when you go to some of the national parks, they're just full of tourists and people. But know that in moving here to Utah, outdoor should become a big part of your life, and wanting to hike and just walk and be outdoors, especially with it not being humid. It's super nice at night. Uh, Over the 4th of July, it was really, really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a 4th of July fireworks display like what we saw from our house over the whole valley of Salt Lake City. We have a really, really cool view, and it's just awesome. And then they also sell cool fireworks that you can get here. We bought some that shoot up in the air, and they're kind of like Disneyland type fireworks. And that was super fun. So that you can still get here in Utah. Certain cities have it banned, so you're gonna have to check your city rules. Doesn't seem like people follow it too well, but just know if you're in certain areas, maybe fireworks might not be the best because of fire damage or just because of possible fires. Anyhow, that's number 5 on the list. The number 6 thing that no one told us about, and we found out after moving here, was that Crumble cookie. This is their headquarters. There are a number of cookie companies. Cookies and treats like that seem to be a really big deal here in Utah. So there are 6 or 7 different cookie companies coming from Nashville. We had Crumble and maybe 1 or 2 others that were okay, but here there's 6 or 7 to pick from. And then the amount of soda companies. So there's places like So Delicious that you go to that have, I think they mostly have Coke products, and then they have like 30 or 40 different flavorings. So you could get coconut flavored Coke or, strawberry Sprite, that sort of thing. Just know that those lines are kind of just like going to a Starbucks. So you could get there and have to wait 20 minutes to get your drink, or it could be super quick, just depends on if you get lucky. But you're going to see a ton of soda and cookie companies. If you have a favorite, drop it in the comments below. Love to hear from you. The number 7 thing on my list here of things you probably wouldn't be aware of is basements are very common here in Utah. And elsewhere where we've been, they've been like dark and creepy, kind of moldish smelling, that sort of thing for your basement. And here, that's definitely not the case. They are awesome and well usable space. We have a basement and it has a bedroom, bathroom, and then like a bonus room area where we have one of our TVs, and it doubles as my wife's craft space since she's big into crafting. And so it's much cooler in the winter in the basement and much cooler in the summer. So it's super nice that you get that temperature. It's very light and bright. They make the basement so they're not, dark and dungeness like I mentioned. But you'll get to enjoy, summertime movies in your basement if you set it up that way. I do have one pet peeve as far as basements go, and that's that they're actually counted in the square footage of your home. So if your home says it's 3,000 square feet, you could have a 1,200 square foot basement that's unfinished, but you're basically paying for a 1,200 square foot of finished space, even though it's unfinished. It's just up to you to finish it. And so that's kind of a pet peeve in mine. I'm used to where the basement square footage is not counted in the price of the home, and it's definitely not counted as the same value. However, after being here now 2 years, we kind of get an idea of why the basements are counted at full value, because there's such usable space once they're finished, and the fact that it's not that dungeon feeling or moldish smelling, that sort of thing for the basement. Number 8 on my list is the friendly people here in Utah. And moving from the South in Nashville, we thought they had really friendly people because Southerners are known for their hospitality. Well, the people here in Utah, I think, are a little bit more friendly than what we were used to in Nashville. Definitely more friendly than what we dealt with in California, where most of our neighbors in California would be the type that would pull into their driveway, open their garage, drive in, shut their garage, and then get out of their car. And it wasn't because we lived in an area where it wasn't safe. It was just they didn't want to talk to you or be bothered by you or be neighborly at all. Well, here it's completely different. People are very, very neighborly in most areas, and most people are super friendly. So just know that it's really refreshing to have such nice, friendly people here in Utah. So hopefully, when you make that move here, that you keep that going and you're neighborly as well, so that we don't change that culture here that we have in Utah of being neighborly, friendly with people, and just being nice in general. Number 9 thing on my list is that people have really big families here in Utah, and we should have known that based on the fact that it's the Mormon LDS capital of the world here in Provo, Utah, and so We should have known that they would have like big families, but when we moved here, we would see people at the grocery store and they'd have 6, 7, 8 kids with them. We be driving and have, the big huge cargo vans that would be full of the family. And please note that's not a problem or no issue, it just was something that we weren't used to seeing. Living in Nashville for the longest time, we had, people would be have big families, but they would kind of cap their family somewhere in the 4 to 6 kid range. And here we seem to have lots of families that have more than that. And so that was just a change for us. You're going to see lots of Suburbans and cargo vans and jumbo jets here to haul their kids around. So that's why that's on my list. Number 10 thing on my list was the bad drivers here in Utah. And I thought that we had really bad drivers in Tennessee. They are worse here in Utah. So just know that people drive super fast on the freeway. They drive erratic. A lot of the people seem to be doing this thing where they want to drive up to you, then they'll ride on your bumper, and then you'll move over, and then they'll drive up to the next person. So it's like they have some sort of cruise control that's set for a certain distance and it's 5 feet behind you. And then they just have that set on 100 or something, and then they just stay in the fast lane and just keep doing that until everyone moves over for them. But it's super annoying. You don't have as many people that drive around you super fast like I used to do when I was a kid. But people will do weird things. They don't like to use their blinker, or when they do use their blinker, they will just turn on their blinker and then turn into your lane. They feel like with their blinker being, they feel like with the warning they're giving you with the blinker that gives them the right of way just to come in your lane for whenever they want. So you're going to need to pay attention when people are driving here. And then we do get snow and ice here. So you're going to need to know that some people drive stupid in that. And when you're driving, you just want to drive, careful and to whatever speed that you feel comfortable driving your vehicle in. So that's the number 10 thing on the list. We were kind of shocked to see the drivers here being worse than where we came from in Nashville. The number 11 thing on the list, and this is something we were told before we moved here that there weren't a lot of, and that's trees. So we were told that there weren't a lot of trees, but they really have trees here in Utah. They may not have as many as where you're from, but we actually have trees here. We were told that they didn't have very many trees here at all, or that there were none. And so it was kind of a shock when we moved here and we actually got to see trees. Hopefully you've enjoyed those 11 things that maybe you didn't know about making a move here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area. And if you want to know more about it, please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to help you make that move here to the Salt Lake City area. Until next time, be rad.